Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at Billion Surprise Toys.
Oh, yeah.
This YouTube channel is hugely popular with families, with young kids, and I think it's really interesting to try to figure out why these videos are so captivating.
Yeah.
And we're going to look at 4 of their top 50 videos.
Okay.
Bubble Bath Babies A, Cha-Cha Ice Cream Song,
Yeah.
Ice Cream Park Show, and Ole LA Baby Ice Cream Song.
Okay. Sounds good.
So if you've ever found yourself humming cha-cha-cha while you're doing dishes or wondered why your toddler can't take their eyes off the screen,
Right.
this deep dive is for you.
For sure.
Let's start with Bubble Bath Babies A. I mean, the lyrics are so simple. They're almost like a nursery rhyme.
Mm-hmm.
Like, soapy cheeks, so clean,
Yeah.
splish, splash, splish.
It's interesting, isn't it, how repetition, like, that really works for young brains.
Yeah.
You know, it's building a neural pathway. The more it's repeated, the stronger that connection gets.
Yeah.
And for toddlers, they're just soaking up language at that age. So this constant repetition helps them remember those words and sounds.
Yeah, and it's not just the words, it's the sounds, too. Like the splish, splash, you almost feel like you're
Yeah.
in the bath with Babies A.
Yeah, you're right there experiencing it with them. It's
Yeah.
multi-sensory, even though it's just a video. And that really helps keep their attention.
For sure.
It's not passive viewing. It makes them imagine the feeling of the bubbles, the sound of the water.
Right.
So it's more immersive.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Cha-Cha-Cha, Ice Cream Song.
Okay.
Now we're getting to the good stuff.
Right.
Ice cream. And it seems like Billion Surprise Toys knows that ice cream is
Yeah.
a universal language for kids.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, who doesn't love
Everyone loves ice cream.
Yeah. A scoop of mango or strawberry or blueberry.
And you know what's interesting is that they're really tapping into like those innate preferences
Yeah,
that little kids have for sweet flavors and bright colors.
right.
You know, they're already hardwired to like those things. Yeah. And then you pair those appealing images with a catchy tune.
Yeah.
The cha-cha-cha, I mean, gets stuck in your head.
Totally.
I'm sure it gets stuck in kids' heads even more.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the sensory appeal either.
Right.
Ice Cream Park Show actually tells a little story.
Okay.
It's very simple, but Z and Chia are driving their ice cream truck through the park.
Oh,
And
right.
all these different animals want ice cream. It's adorable.
Ah.
It reminds me of those classic picture books,
Yeah.
that have these simple narratives that kids love.
Well, and you're right. You're hitting on something important there. You know, that need for a clear narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Little kids are just starting to understand the world.
Right.
So stories really help them make sense of things.
Yeah.
Even a basic plot like this helps them understand cause and effect.
Yeah.
And the characters, even though they're animated, they become familiar
Right.
and relatable.
Okay, so now with LA Baby Ice Cream Song, they really turn up. The heartwarming factor.
Yeah.
It's all about enjoying treats with your grandparents and your parents in the park.
Right.
And there's something so wholesome about it.
Yeah, it's subtle, but, you know, they're presenting a very idealized version of family life where everyone is happy and loving, and there's always time for ice cream.
Right.
And, you know, for little kids who are just learning about how families work,
Yeah.
these positive images can be really reassuring.
It's fascinating how they can weave those positive family interactions throughout these seemingly simple videos.
Absolutely. And speaking of simple, have you noticed the production quality across these videos?
Yeah.
It's all bright colors, simple animation style, upbeat music.
Yeah.
It feels very carefully made to appeal to a young audience.
It's true. Like they've cracked the code
Yeah.
to capturing a toddler's attention.
Exactly.
There's something almost mesmerizing about how these videos are put together.
Yeah.
What's the science behind that?
Well, for one thing, young children are really drawn to primary colors.
Very stimulating, and they're easier for their developing eyes to process.
Okay.
And the animation style is very simple, too. Exaggerated movements, clear visuals.
Right.
This helps toddlers follow along and understand what's happening.
Okay.
And then, of course, you've got that upbeat music, which just adds to the whole feeling of joy and excitement.
Yeah, it's like they've taken everything we know about child development
Right.
and put it into these videos.
It's very smart, and it clearly works because millions of people are watching these videos.
Yeah.
But it also makes you think about the long-term impact.
Right.
What happens when a child watches hours and hours of this?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we've talked about how these videos can be educational and engaging, but what about the other side of that?
Yeah.
What happens when a child is just spending hours in this world?
Yeah. That's when things get even more interesting.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into in the next part of our deep dive. Awesome. I can't wait. So we've seen how Billion Surprise Toys uses all this, repetition and catchy tunes and bright colors
Right?
to make these videos that kids just love.
Yeah.
But you have to wonder what happens with all that, when kids watch a lot of it.
Yeah, you've definitely got me thinking.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about how the videos show kind of a perfect version of family life.
Mm-hmm.
Could that give kids, like, unrealistic expectations?
That's a good point. When you're always seeing these happy families,
Yeah.
it might make it hard for kids to understand that real families are different.
Yeah.
Real life is messy and complicated.
Right.
And these videos don't really show that.
And it makes me think, too, about the emotions that are in these videos.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all joy and excitement.
Okay.
You don't see sadness or frustration or anger.
Exactly. And, it makes sense that the creators would want to focus on positive emotions, especially for little kids. But it's important to remember that experiencing all kinds of emotions is important for kids.
Yeah.
It helps them grow and learn.
Could it be harder for kids to understand those tougher emotions when they only see happy stuff on screen?
That's a question a lot of researchers are looking into, and it's
Yeah.
something parents should definitely think about.
Okay, so let's switch gears for a second and
Okay.
talk about attention span.
Okay.
These videos are so fast-paced,
Right.
and there's so much going on visually and with the music.
Mm-hmm.
Could that make it harder for kids to focus on other things,
Yeah.
like reading or playing by themselves?
That's possible. Some experts think that when kids watch a lot of really stimulating content,
Right.
it can be hard for them to focus on things that are slower or quieter.
So moderation is key.
Absolutely. Like with anything else, it's all about balance.
Right.
A little bit of this kind of content can be good,
Yeah.
but too much can be a problem.
Okay, so speaking of too much,
Okay.
these videos, they don't really have ads, but they are part of this bigger brand that sells toys.
Yeah.
Does that kind of blur the lines between entertainment and marketing?
That's a really important point because for little kids,
Yeah.
they're still learning about the world,
Right.
and it can be hard for them to understand that someone is trying to sell them something.
So they might not even know that they're being influenced.
Exactly. They just think they're watching a fun video.
Wow. So we've talked about attention span and consumerism,
Right.
but how else could Billion Surprise Toys be influencing kids?
Well, one thing to think about is language development.
Okay.
These videos use a lot of repetition and simple words.
Yeah.
And that can actually help kids learn to talk,
Really?
especially kids who might not have other opportunities to learn.
Okay.
So it's kind of like digital nursery rhymes
Yeah.
or those songs that parents sing to their babies.
Yeah.
It's not the same as talking to a real person.
Right.
But it can be a good way to help kids learn new words.
But then again, could it be bad if kids only learn language from screens?
That's a good question, and we're still learning about that.
Okay.
Screens can be good for learning, but it's important for kids to talk to real people too.
So again, it's all about balance.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to use screens to
Right.
help kids learn and grow.
And it's about being aware of the bigger picture, too.
Yeah.
Like Billion Surprise Toys is part of this huge change in how kids are using media.
Absolutely. It's a whole new world.
Yeah. And it sounds like we're about to dive even deeper.
For sure.
So we've talked about like the good and bad things about these individual videos.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Like Billion Surprise Toys is a total phenomenon.
It really is. And it tells us a lot about how kids are using media these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like the old days when kids just sat and watched TV.
Right.
Kids these days are interacting with screens.
Yeah. They're swiping and tapping and
Exactly. They're digital natives.
yeah.
And Billion Surprise Toys really gets that.
Yeah.
It's not just entertainment. It's like an experience.
Yeah.
The repetition, the bright colors, the songs,
Mhm.
it makes kids want to participate.
Yeah. And they keep putting out so much new stuff.
Right. New videos all the time.
Yeah.
That's how they keep kids coming back for more.
That's a smart strategy.
It is. You
Really
don't
fun
see
way.
that with regular TV shows.
Okay, so they're obviously influencing a lot of kids.
Yeah.
How else are they shaping young minds?
Well, one thing that's interesting is language development.
Okay.
Those repetitive phrases and simple words,
Yeah.
they can actually help kids learn to talk,
Really?
especially kids who maybe don't have other chances to learn.
Okay.
It's like a digital version of nursery rhymes,
Right.
or the songs parents sing to babies.
Yeah.
It's not the same as talking to someone,
Right.
but it can be a good way to learn.
But what if kids are only learning from screens?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Screens can be good for learning, but
Yeah.
kids need to talk to people too.
Right. So balance is important.
Always. It's about using screens in a
Mm,
way that helps kids.
right. And it's about understanding the big picture.
Yeah. Billion Surprise Toys shows us how much things have changed.
It really does. This is the world kids are growing up in.
Right. Whether we like it or not.
Exactly. So we need to learn about it.
Yeah. And use it to help kids.
That's the goal.
It's amazing to me that we're having such a deep conversation
I know, right?
about a channel that's about toys and ice cream.
It shows that even simple things can make us think.
Well, I think we've done a good job of unpacking Billion Surprise Toys.
I think so too.
We talked about why it's so popular
Yeah.
and all the questions it raises.
It's complicated.
It is. But that's why we do these deep dives, right?
Exactly. To explore and learn.
So keep thinking about the media you and your kids are consuming.
Yeah, be mindful.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
See ya.